Hey guys, pardon the mess. I want to show you guys how to put line on a brand new reel. So I just bought this today. It's a Lose hypersonic. Pretty inexpensive, but I was like, or it's like 40 bucks, but it feels really nice. Let's see, this is a fast taper action or power. Yeah, so it's a medium power, 6'6". You know, line weight between this, lure weight between that. Like, if you guys don't know, like, this says everything you need to know about the rod. But I want to show you guys how to put line on, because I know I just bought this. I need line on it. So let's get started. Okay, so I've got two lines right here. This is super cheap monofilament. You could buy at Walmart. You could buy, you know, anywhere. For like $2. I use this as backing because I know from, you know, my experience, and I've had a ton of spinning reels or rods before, is that I'll never ever get to the bottom of the spool if I just use straight braid from the bottom up, and to me that's a lot of braid that's wasted, a lot of line that's wasted. And you know, growing up I didn't have a whole lot of money, so I would try to make this last as much as I could. This is 10-pound test Power Pro line. It's 2-pound test diameter. So, you know, I prefer Power Pro. When it comes to braid, there's none other, in my opinion, than Power Pro. I've had a friend that's tried to go the cheap way and get like spider wire, but it just really screwed up he just had a very hard time with that. Okay, to start, I like to use my whole rod when it comes to putting line on. That way, like, it's coming in controlled. I don't have to, like hold it right here and worry about it wrapping around. So I like to use my whole rod. And then also at the end of it all, my line's already hanging out. I don't have to re-thread it through the guides. So, okay, I've got the line through all the guides. Okay. So we're going to use, I think it's called the arbor knot. So what I want to do to start is tie a overhand knot like this, and then just cinch it down, like on the end of the line. Okay, and I think I'm going to do another one just to be sure it doesn't slip. It's always awkward when like a car pulls up and they're going to get out while you're talking to yourself. Now the arbor knot is basically, you're going to tie a overhand knot around the main line. So I'm actually going to cut this short, the tagging short right now, to save me the trouble of doing that later. Actually, it doesn't look like I pulled it tight all the way. There we go. So I'm going to tie an overhand knot around the main line. Okay. So basically you just make a loop around the main line, and then you just tuck it inside and make the overhand knot so the main line's coming through there. Then you're going to put this whole loop over the spool, that giant loop. And you just, I didn't pull it tight right. Okay, so let me redo that. So I've made a loop around the main line, and you put it back through and pull it tight. Okay, and this loop is going to cinch down, and then it's going to cinch this little tag-in part down, and then this knot's going to stop it. So put it there, and then just cinch it down till it gets to the knot. Now that's going to hold. Now I put backing on for a lot of different reasons. If you were to put braid on, it would slip. I have put like electrical tape over the first wind of braid if I go straight braid on the reel. And then also another reason why I use backing is it saves me line. So I'm going to close the bell, And then I want to come up here and hold it tight. I'm just going to reel it in. Now, a lot of people say, like, because like mono has so much memory that if you were to use it as like a main line, you want it to come off and then go on the same way. Like, I want to put, you know, a good healthy bit on here, but at the same time not too much, because I don't want to like get to the point where I have to put more line on, because over time you just lose main line through snags and retying leaders, and it's really hard to gauge it because I've already used half that spool of braid, so I don't know how much exactly I've got on there. And when you get your main line on, you want it to fill up towards the edge. You don't want it on the edge because then it'll coil off, but you want it pretty close to the edge. So this, I don't want to take up too much of this spool space, so I may have already put too much on. Okay, so I'm going to come up here. Perfect. This stuff is garbage. Don't use it as mainline, use it as backing. Okay, so this, I want to use a FG knot to tie my backing to my mainline. And to do that, I'll show you this here. Also, there'll be basically this on a specific video that I'll make too. So if you just want to know the FG knot, you can go watch that specifically. It'll be basically what you see here. And there's also a lot of videos on YouTube about it too that are very good. So I want to make a loop with my fluorocarbon, or my, like, the stuff that isn't my braid. The braid is what so this knot's good for tying like a plastic line to a braid line. So you know, fluorocarbon or mono to braid. So make a loop with your the plastic line, and just stick the braid through that loop like this. Hopefully you can see it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch this, and then I'm just going to make sure you're grabbing, whoops, geez, I messed myself up. Okay, make sure you want to be holding onto like this loop and making that like the whole time you tie this knot. At least for the first half for sure. The second half is a little bit, there's a lot of leanway, but first half definitely want to hold that down. Now get some braid through that loop. Now the tag end I like to be about, you know, 4 inches. Any more or less you risk like running out, or if there's too much then it just gets in the way and it's hard to handle. So I'm going to pinch the loop with the line there. I'm actually going to give myself a little bit more. Pinch it, and then you're just going to start wrapping down towards the tag end. You're wrapping over both the tag end line and the main line. You're going to do this 8 times. I forgot to count. 1, 4, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now I like to, then I'm going to pinch the last wrap and the line together, and then I'm just going to wrap it back this way. I'm trying to hold the braid taut, not tight like that it'll start like pulling the knot or start tightening the knot, but just enough to keep it taut, and then so it doesn't get in the way. And then I'll wrap it the same amount of times back, so 8 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you're going to put it through the loop, like you're going to follow the braid back out through the loop. So the way it goes in is the way it's going to go back out, like with this tag end. So looks like it goes in the top of the loop here, so I'm going to put the braid tag end through the bottom so it comes out the top. This is important. I've accidentally tied it the wrong, like, without that. Oh shoot, I left a big loop in my at the other end of my knot. Hopefully that doesn't affect it. Let's see, this goes out. Okay. Oh, this is difficult. Brand new braid. Okay, so I'm just going to stick it up through that loop. Okay. Now, I want to pull it tight, but I want to moisten it. Oh, sorry. I had to hold it up here because my eyes are bad. So, I stuck it through the loop, as you can see, and it comes out the same way. You want to moisten that with saliva, like hardcore. It will help it slip down and the way it's supposed to. Okay, so I accidentally left some loops. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now, that is tied right. It's a little bulky, but smooth. Sometimes you'll get wraps that like overlay each other a little bit and it won't be like as smooth, but because this is like the backing, I'm not too worried about it, so it's not going to get caught on the guides like for a long time, hopefully. Then you just cut the tag ends and you're good. If you've ever made the mistake of accidentally cutting your main line after you've tied a knot and not the tag ends, leave a like down below. I've done that many a time and it's so frustrating because you spend a lot of time tying a knot and then you just cut it and you're like, oh shiz. Okay, now this one I'm going to be a little bit more particular on how I wind it up. So this is coming off this way and it's going to go on that same way, I think. Yep. So it's coming off the same way it's going on. So I'm just going to... Now I'm holding the line tight with my hand. I want this to wind on tautly. Oh, because you don't want to wind any loose loops into it. It becomes a big hassle later. You want it as tight as can be. Because if you wrap this on loose, the top of the top winds are going to end up being tighter through just casting and stuff, and it'll dig its way through into the bottom layers, and then when you cast you'll end up pulling loops off. It's just a big hassle. So I'm just going to keep winding, and I want to periodically check where the line's at. Okay, like according to the top notch of the spool. Oh, I probably should have left a lot of backing off, because this, I don't think, oh actually I've reached the end of the braid already? Well, okay. I could have put more backing, that's probably good. Like I'm okay with that, it's hard to see that, there we go. So I've reached the end, and it just came off the spool. Okay. So, that's how you put line on a spinning reel or on a fishing pole. Thanks guys for watching. Leave a thumbs up if you liked it or if you learned something. Subscribe. My New Year's resolution is to make more videos, and I really appreciate you subscribers that have stuck around with me throughout the years. But let's get back at it. Let's go out and catch some fish and have a good year. Make some fishing goals, and we'll catch you later.